For that with a sense of patience and realism.
Right, our correspondent Rhys Williams joins us now. Rhys, can you give us some sense of the scale of this operation? Because it seems to have been a remarkable effort by so many, kind of couple of 100+ volunteers. Oh no, we've lost... Oh, he's back.
We understand... Sorry, Sean. Yeah, 262 rescuers, we understand, were involved in this rescue. Crews from all over the UK, up from Upper Wharfdale in North Yorkshire even, and cave rescuers of international renown as well. One of the cavers here was involved in the rescue of the Thai football team and their coach back in 2018. It's hard to believe that this man, who we understand now was in his 40s and was an experienced caver, was stuck underground for more than 50 hours with serious injuries. So it was an incredible effort to get him to the surface, and within the last 20 minutes, around 50 cave rescuers have walked back down here, all looking exhausted, soaking wet, but obviously extremely pleased that this was the resolution that they'd hoped for.
Do we know how they got him off the mountain? Because I remember reading earlier in the day there was some debate about whether the weather conditions would be okay for him to be kind of airlifted, or whether he'd actually physically have to be carried down the mountain.
Yeah, that's right. The conditions here above ground, actually, Sean, have been awful all day. Actually, underground, we understand they were quite good, which meant that the slow and steady progress they were able to make was able to carry on successfully. He's not been able to be airlifted, so we understand he's not actually left the premises yet. He's been brought down via a Land Rover down to the ambulance you can see possibly behind me there. And once, obviously the priority now is to ensure that he's safe and well in order to be transported to hospital.
I mean, the good news, I suppose, is that obviously there wasn't a fatal fall, and that we know that we were told that the injuries weren't life-threatening, but presumably there must have been a real anxiety that the longer he remained under inside the caves without proper medical attention, that there was a risk of his condition deteriorating. It must have been a big trade-off between getting him out comfortably and getting him out quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. From what we understand, what we were told earlier on today was that he was actually lucky to be with us and he was in a bad way. However, he was stable, and that was the important thing. And what the sense that we got from speaking to the rescuers throughout the day, I've been here since nearly 8 a.m. this morning, and what we've understood from the rescuers is that slow and steady progress was the most important thing. You were not able to rush operations like this. There's an enormous amount of kit involved. This man was lying on a stretcher. He was being carried at some stages. He was being pushed along waterways at some stages. An extremely complex rescue that involved an extraordinary amount of expertise and physical strength as well. And we were told that the physical strength of the man who was injured was extremely important in the fact that he's obviously managed to survive this horrendous accident.
Yeah, I mean, it must be hard to kind of get a full sense of how difficult it must be to manoeuvre somebody, and every time you manoeuvre them, you know you're causing them pain and potentially making their injuries worse, but at the same time, you know you've got to get them out.
Yeah, absolutely. We understand one of the rescuers was explaining to us a few hours ago that there may be one section that could take 15 seconds or it might take 60 minutes. You don't know until you get there, and how you can contort the stretcher and how it's possible to move the the patient up safely. So the priority, of course, was keeping him stable. We don't know what his injuries were, but as we've already mentioned, we knew they were serious. So it was obvious that they were going to take great care in what they were doing and ensuring that he was able to be moved through the cave system here safely. It is, of course, the deepest cave in the whole of the UK, the third longest in the whole of the UK. We understand that the man was conscious and was talking to the rescuers when he was required to, and also that his family was being kept informed regularly of what was happening.
Rhys Williams down at the site, thanks so much for coming and bringing us all that good news. Hopefully we'll hear more from you in the course of the evening. For now, thanks very much.